What's going on, folks? Welcome back to another video. Today we will be continuing from our series of answering 300 weighted questions. Today we are actually in part 8. And yeah, before we get into this video, if you enjoyed this video, then please make sure to hit the like button below, subscribe and turn on notifications, and comment below if there's anything specific that you want to see me do next after this series. And yeah, please make sure to share this video as it really means a whole lot to me. Without further ado, let's get into this video. Question 176, how has your year been going? It's full of days which are up and down. It's just another normal year, and we're just growing with time over here. Hopefully, things get better in the future where we feel a little bit happier than now. But other than that, it's just another normal year. There is an old man who lives deep in the forest. He is immortal and was born in the year zero. You may ask him one question. What do you ask? Do humans ever get better and realize that we are not the only species in the universe? Because from what I see, like this whole world and planet, we are just fighting for power over here with absolutely zero intentions of actually improving ourselves and realizing that if we work together, we can achieve a whole lot other things. So yeah, do humans ever get better in this field or not? How are you? No, really, how are you? Not fine, not good, thanks. And you, how are you really now, today, at this moment? To be honest, feeling a little bit sad. I have exams coming up in less than a week, yet here I am recording videos and having fun and just doing whatever makes me happy. Do I think that I'm gonna pass? Probably not, but I mean, there is not much honestly that I could do right now. I just want to feel happy. I don't care about anything anymore at this moment as we speak. What were you severely underprepared for? What was I underprepared for? Probably the fact that when you shift out to live on your own, things will get a whole lot harder and you'll just turn into survival mode where you're just doing whatever it takes to make sure that you can survive on whatever you have. And I was never actually, well, I was not prepared for that, but I learned it the hard way over 5 years and iterations. So yeah, that was one thing I was underprepared for. And the problem of procrastination. What's the most selfish thing you've done? Um, Probably insulting someone who never deserves to be insulted, where they were right and I was wrong, and I never felt the need to apologize. What's the most selfless thing you have done? Um, I don't know. Like if I actually talk about what I've done, which was selfless, then I'll be bragging and all. And personally, I don't like to talk about the achievements or things that I have done for others. I like to keep these a secret because it's not for me to share. Like I don't prefer to share. I just prefer that people figure it out on their own. If you could live in any fictional world, where would it be and why? If I could live in any fictional world, probably Asgard. I kind of like this area where Thor lives, and I just think that Asgard's a pretty neat place. Like, okay, a little bit ancient, but pretty neat, at least compared to what we see nowadays on Earth, where we are all buildings that are a little bit old. Like, feels kind of futuristic to me. And if I were to say anything about it, I would say that it looks like fictional world, but I kind of like it. So yeah, in one place, Asgard, straight out. What is your favorite question to answer? Um, Probably who you have a crush on. And right now, as we speak, I don't have a crush on anyone. What is the biggest punishment you've ever received? Getting grounded, disciplinary file, prison. Um, so far, probably when I was a kid, my parents used to set passwords on the computers just to force me to study. But ever since I have moved out on my own, I'm usually the one who punishes himself when he doesn't do a good job as expected. What about yourself is completely different from what you were like 10 years ago? Oh, that's a very easy one. 10 years ago, I was a complete game addict. I didn't care about anything or anyone. And yeah, when I grew up, I realized that it's not all about video games. And I have also come to the realization that, well, it's no longer about the video games. Like, there's a life to live. You might want to get a girl, you might want to find friends, you might want to study, work on yourself, focus on yourself, build your physique, build your body. All of this was absolutely nothing that I would have got myself concerned about 10 years ago. And right now, these are my priorities. What about yourself hasn't changed in the last 10 years? Probably still the same person that I used to be 10 years ago in the way that I think and I really like to give opportunities, but back then I would give way too many opportunities. Right now, I'm just forcing myself to have limits just to make sure that no one walks over me as I used to be 10 years ago. If you could erase one memory from your mind, what would it be and why? If you could erase one memory from your mind, okay, that one's pretty interesting. One memory. Probably the game that I was addicted to 11 years ago. I just kind of feel, well, it did actually teach me a lot and how to tolerate people and that people could be evil. That's one thing for sure. But the 11 years that were spent on this game, they were just never worth it for me. So I would say I don't want to go back to this very specific game. To the curious one, this game was called RuneScape, and due to the economy and friends that I had there, I was incredibly addicted to it. And right now, I'm just trying to forget all about it. What wouldn't you do for someone you love? Well, it depends. Am I actually in love with someone? Does that person love me as much as I love them? Because if that's the case, there's absolutely nothing that I wouldn't do for them. Like if we have a mutual connection, I would do everything for that person. But if I'm the one who's investing way more into that person, uh, chances are I will get them to qualify themselves one way or the other because I want to make sure that I'm not the only one playing this game. And if they are investing way too much into me, I would get repelled, but when they pull back a little bit, chances are I'm gonna get attracted, and then things could be settled much better than me chasing someone. So yeah, anything that I wouldn't do for anyone that I love, probably nothing. If you could enhance one of your senses to, for example, your hearing would be twice as good as it is now, what would you choose to enhance? My thought process, to be honest, well, okay, that's not a sense. Um, Probably vision, so that I could see the world in a much better perspective. Although right now, as we speak, like my vision's straight up 2020, but I would still want to enhance my vision to double the size just so I could see around me what exactly is going on and maybe give people warnings before accidents happen. What's the best gift you've ever received? Who gave it to you? Yeah, that one's an easy one. When I was 6 years old, my uncle bought me a remote control car. It was really big, like this size and that dimensions. Back then, to me, this was one of the biggest things that I have ever had or played with, and it was actually super exciting for me. It was a killer gift for me, and I really loved it and enjoyed it. And until this day, I'll never be able to forget it. But right now, as we speak, I'm the one who buys his own gifts for himself. What's the best gift you've ever given? Who did you give it to? Uh, Logistically speaking, I would say I've never given anyone a very special gift because I never actually had that many close friends offline. As you know, like nowadays we live in an internet world, but I got hooked into this way too early in my life. But yeah, I've never actually given anyone a very special gift. But if I would love to give someone, I'd probably give them something which is, well, based on what they like. So there's not much really that can be said about it. But right now, as we speak, there's not much that I could think of that I have given anyone. But I would love to give someone a really special gift, but that someone better be special to me. What one thing changed the way you see the world? Um, Getting out of the online world and getting to see how pathetic people can be. Like, apologies to anyone who's seeing this video who thinks that I think people are pathetic, but truth be told, right now, some people are actually pathetic, and I mean some, not everyone. And they will just be greedy and do anything just for their happiness. Like, I remember that one time where I paid a trainer for me to help me out. Payment was low, but I wanted to see how honest this person is. And we went well. Like I paid him for 30 days, 22 days went well. The last 8 days, I decided to go on my own path. And then a while later, I asked him to give me the last 8 days worth of money back. He got really aggressive. He blocked me. He was trying his hardest to tell me that I'm wrong when in reality, the way I see it, I wasn't actually wrong about it. So yeah, in one way, I could say that he made me realize that people can financially manipulate you just for their own benefit. Because I realized all of the psychological games he was playing, but I just let them slide back then. And I was never actually able to trust anyone ever since then. If you died today, what would be your biggest regret? My biggest regret right now as we speak is not taking big risks and not trying things that I have always tried. And above all else, my biggest regret would also be that I have disappointed my creator in me because, truth be told, like I'm not the cleanest person on earth, and if I could go back in time, then chances are I would, well, if we were to go back in time, chances are I would change a few things, but everything that we go through, we learn from it, and I'm meant to be where I am right now. What is a completely irrational, justified fear that you have? Fear of talking to girls. Every time I want to talk to a girl, 98% of the time I'm not gonna approach her, and 2% I'll come up with a scheme. That is if I approach her. And I'll just talk to her, but it still scares the crap out of me talking to girls. I don't know why I just have this fear. Please don't use that against me. What is a complete yeah, we'll answer that. What is something you love that most people hate? Taking big risks. What is something you hate that most people love? Taking the safe side. I never loved taking the safe side. I have listened to mentors and other people who really made it big in life, and they all said one thing in common is that they never played it safe. They have tried new things and they have took a very different approach to life. That's exactly what I want to do. But I don't want to play it safe, as I have mentioned. What do you wish was possible? Um, what do I wish was possible? Anything basically, like probably no speed limits. Like, yeah, I heard about the German highway, they have no speed limits, but if all of the roads in the world had no speed limits, rest assured there would be a lot of crashes. But if we could take us away from the crashes and all that, I'd be stealing high-end cars and I'd be driving them like I have never driven them before. Who was the last person you called and what did you talk about? Last person I called, a good friend of mine. What did I talk about? I asked him out. I was like, hey, bro, let's go do this. Let's go do that. Let's think of new YouTube videos to record and let's actually travel 60 kilometers to print a specific paper. That was pathetic, but yeah, maybe after the exams, we would actually come up with an interesting video like that. You might want to, guys, that's all. If you want to see something like that, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share the video below. What will never cease to make you smile? Music and cars. A mix of music and cars has always helped heal me mentally when I was feeling incredibly down. I love music and cars. If you love music and cars as well, then here's the spot for you. What will always be funny to you? Uh, funny to me? Um, Probably my fears. When we look back in time and realize how terrified we were of things that were incredibly small, we would always think that this was super funny. But right now, as we speak, there's not much really that I could think about, which is super funny. And that's about it for this short video. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like button below. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications as well. I really appreciate it. And make sure to comment below if there's anything specific that you want to see. And finally, please make sure to share this video with your friends so that we spread the word about a brand new channel which is growing from the ashes. Thank you so much for watching. I'm not going to take any more of your time. And with that being said, I'll see you tomorrow in part 9. Peace.